This new deck destroys meta decks. Roll the intro. What's going on, everybody? Hitmonchanning here, back again with another Pokemon trading card game, online deck tech. Today, I wanted to cover Zeraora VSTAR and Zeraora VMAX. These cards just came out a couple days ago, and they released those new products with Zeraora VMAX and VSTAR, and Deoxys VMAX and VSTAR. Really cool boxes. They have a lot of cool promos in them for the price that you pay, and I thought Zeraora was particularly interesting. I'm going to cover Deoxys at some point, but Zeraora VSTAR and Zeraora VMAX are both really strong in our current standard format against a lot of the top tier decks. So I'm not going to waste any time. Let's get right into it. First, I want to cover Zeraora VMAX. Zeraora VMAX has the reactive pulse attack. For 2 lightning, you do 60 damage times the amount of your opponent's Pokemon that have an ability in play. So a little bit of a tongue twister there, but basically, if your opponent has a board full of Comfeys and Cramorants and like whatever, you're going to be doing 60 damage for each of those Pokemon. So in a lot of decks, you can actually do 240 damage, 300 damage very easily with Reactive Pulse, because think about all of the top decks right now. Lost Box, you have Giratina, you have Palkia, you got Palkia Kyurem, you know? There's a lot of the top decks, even Zoroark VSTAR, which is making some waves. There's so many of these decks have a lot of abilities in play. Even decks like the Regis. The Regis will usually have 2 abilities in play for Regigigas and Regidrago. Reactive Pulse, you're going to be doing 120. Put a Zigzagoon ping down, you can do 130, which knocks out most of the Regis. For 2 energies, that's not bad at all. And on top of that, Lightning type, very good type right now because it counters Palkia VSTAR. So really, what's not to like about Zeraora VMAX? Even Max Fist, for 2 lightning and a colorless, 240, flat 240 isn't bad, and you discard 2 energy from this Pokemon, which might seem like a pretty significant drawback at first, but thanks to our use of the Flaaffy engine with Dynamotor, we can put those energies back into play very simply. And now another thing is Zeraora VSTAR. The good part about the Zeraora deck is you can play the VMAX and the VSTAR for different effects. Its first attack is pretty solid, 2 lightning and 1 colorless. Crushing Beat, 190, you may discard a Stadium in play. I mean, it's nothing crazy, but if you want to get your opponent's training cord out of the play or whatever, it works, you know. 190 damage is pretty good. Put a Choice Belt on that, you're going to be doing 220. Pretty average damage output, I would say. But Lightning Storm Star is an incredible VSTAR power. It has a hefty attack cost of 4 energy, 3 lightning, 1 colorless. However, look at what this does. Choose one of your opponent's Pokemon 4 times. You can choose the same Pokemon more than once. For each time you choose a Pokemon, do 60 damage to it. And this damage isn't affected by weakness or resistance. So basically, you can spread 240 damage however you want throughout the board in multiples of 60. So let's say you want to target down 2 Comfey and a Cramorant, for example. Well, you can Zigzagoon ping both the Comfey, then Lightning Storm Star once and twice, do both Comfey, and then 2 on a Cramorant, and you can take 3 prizes in a turn while crippling your opponent's board. Just think about that. Think about how awesome that is. And now the tough part about this is that, you know, Manaphy's in the format, which we do play in this deck. However, boss that up, knock that out early on, and you will be good to go. We even have other Pokemon to help out, such as Regieleki with the Terra Spark attack, which does 120, and then 42 of your opponent's bench Pokemon can really help set up those KOs, as well as Zekrom from Vivid Voltage, which has the Wild Shock attack. You do 130 damage, but you do 60 damage to yourself, and your opponent's active Pokemon is now paralyzed. Very good to stall. And now, that's pretty much all the Pokemon we have. We have 3 Zeraora V. I'm playing one of the Chilling Reign Zeraora simply because I couldn't get another one of these in time for this video. But you do want to be playing the Zeraora V. It just has a better attack overall for this deck and a 1 retreat cost, which is better than the 2 retreat cost and the Cross Fist in this specific scenario. And that's about it for our Pokemon. So I'm going to go through the rest of the deck really fast right now, and then we're going to hop into some games. So Ordinary Rod, pretty standard for our Pokemon search. We have 4 Quick Ball, 4 Ultra Ball, and 2 Stormy Mountains. Really good in lightning decks because you can just put those lightning Pokemon right on to your bench. We have 2 Scoop Up Nets to help with our Radiant Greninja and our Galarian Zigzagoon, as well as 2 Switch and 2 Air Balloon to help us kind of maneuver in and out of the active when we are utilizing our Flaaffies. And now we have 3 Boss's Orders, 2 Marnie, 4 Professor's Research, and 1 Thorton. I think the Thorton is really cool in this deck because if you're starting to power up a secondary Zeraora and your main one gets knocked out, just say, if you want, you can go into a single prizer that's in your discard, like you can Thorton into a single prizer, or vice versa. If you're powering up a single prizer, your Zeraora gets knocked out too early, Thorton into that, evolve it right away, and come out of nowhere and do a bunch of damage. And I find once you get your board set up, you really don't need to be drawing through your deck as much, thanks to our 4-speed lightning energy as well in this deck. So you can actually have quite a bit of draw combined with Greninja and speed lightning energy. With Scoop Up Nets as well, so you can go through your deck quite a bit, and you don't need to. So having that access to Thorton is very, very strong. I think that card alone makes this deck able to make some super surprise plays, especially utilizing Flaaffys in combination with like Zeraora V-STAR, because you can Flaaffy a bunch of times, Lightning Storm Star, and then take a bunch of KOs out of nowhere and leave your opponent in shock. Get it? Electric Pump. And then the last cards we have are 2 Choice Belt to help boost our damage just a little bit. 8 Lightning Energy, and that's about all. So I'm not going to talk any longer. We're going to get into some games and get some dubs with the Zeraora V-STAR VMAX combo. My opponent gets to call the coin flip here. I like to say Tails never fails, and it hasn't failed us today. We're absolutely going to go first. Getting a good setup with this deck is really important. And we have an okay hand to begin. You know, it's nothing crazy, but we need to keep in mind we only got 1 Zeraora V-STAR in our deck, so we can't discard it and then kind of hope and pray for our Zeraora V. So in this matchup, VMAX is the way to go. I don't know if I kind of want to keep the Zeraora V-STAR. We're going to get rid of it for now. We don't need that right now. We're going to get rid of it as much as I want to keep it. Grab ourselves a Zeraora, and we're just going to speed lightning energy to it. We get some Mareeps. That's really, really good, actually. I'm very happy about that. And we're just going to pass. We have a really good hand for next turn. The reason I opted to go to Zeraora VMAX is because a lot of abilities are going to come into play on my opponents. Not this turn, but their next turn. So we can just evolve and attach, and then do a bunch of damage. As well as we got a pretty good setup going, too. Zeraora V-STAR would have been nice, but we're not going to be able to Lightning Storm Star turn 2. Very, very likely. Like, this turn is not going to be a Lightning Storm Star. They already got 2 abilities in play. That's going to be 120 damage from Zeraora VMAX now. Going for an Irida here. Probably going to get a Palkia and Radiant Greninja. That's my guess. And guess what that is? That's another ability on the Radiant Greninja. That's 3 abilities in play. Going to be 180 damage. That's a lot of damage, you know? So we can set up this Kyurem for a 2-shot, or we can even boss up the Palkia if our cards align correctly. And, you know, I don't know, they didn't even grab a Palkia. Interesting. They didn't even grab a Palkia. They might just be getting set up with the, going for the Rapid Freeze here. They're going to concealed cards, maybe hoping for a Palkia. If they gave us a Palkia, that would be very, very good to boss that up. Oh, there's the Battle VIP. Okay. So, it's also good to note that Zeraora V-STAR... Oh, they have double Primate Wisdoms in here. Next turn, we can knock out a Kyurem V. Oh, I did not expect that. We can knock out a Kyurem V next turn. I don't know if my opponent realizes what Zeraora VMAX does. Rapid Freeze coming through here. They're just going to start powering up probably the second Kyurem. Because I think they know maybe that this one's going to get knocked out. They're just getting that one ready. But that's okay with me. We can just evolve. And evolve. And now, I don't want to Marnie my opponent. We're just going to Professor's Research his hand away. Get some Speed Lightnings in here. We get a Flaaffy. We have everything we need. Grab another Stormy Mountains. We'll put that down. Let's get another Zeraora V into play. We will Speed Lightning. Do we need any other basics right now? I don't think so. I kind of want to get rid of one of these energies, though. And is Galarian Zigzagoon ever going to matter? Maybe. It might matter. And a Manaphy can come out and take our Flaaffys out of the picture as well. But we have to scoop up. I'll grab the Zigzagoon for now. Just keep that in the hand. We can conceal the cards. I don't know if I want to, though. I'm very happy with this hand right now. We're going to go into the Zeraora. And Reactive Pulse, taking a huge KO. So turn 2, 240 damage. And we knock out my opponent's Kyurem. Like, that's pretty awesome, right? And now we can actually start Dynamotoring next turn. We would really like to find our other VMAX or our other, or our Rod for a V-Star in order to, you know, get that into play. The V-Star can be very, very strong because we can take out 2 Oranguru. Like, them playing 2 Oranguru changes this matchup so much because we can just knock them out, like, for free, basically. And then, as long as we take out 2 Vs, we can boss up that Lumineon, knock that out. Then V-Star, boom. Both Orangurus gone, easy. Like, that's the end of the game. And now my opponent looks like they're struggling to find the Kyurem VMAX here. Oh, they do get the Irida, so that's good for them. And now, next turn, if they don't knock out this Kyurem, or sorry, if they don't knock out our Zeraora, we have a pretty decent shot at taking out that Kyurem VMAX. Maybe. If they have 5 in play, we need to find a belt. If we can find a belt, we can knock out that Kyurem. That's kind of wild. If we find a belt, we can knock out that Kyurem. So we're going to have to see if my opponent goes for a Glaciated World here. Oh, they couldn't even stack the deck. I don't think they can knock out our Zeraora. If we find a belt, we can take out that Kyurem. Oh no, they can knock it out. Oh, they do exact numbers. I forgot. Oopsie. Okay, well, they take out our Zeraora VMAX, but I am not actually that concerned. We're going to bring Radiant Greninja into the active spot so we can, you know, conceal cards and then do some damage. Get another Zeraora here. I want to get rid of this Mareep. I don't think we need it right now. We'll grab the Zekrom. No Palkia coming out as well. So first off, concealed cards. Get rid of this. There's an Ultra Ball and the belt, so we might be able to do it this turn. We can Dynamotor over here. And I'm going to Stormy Mountains. So we have the other VMAX in deck. Okay, that's very important. I needed to make sure I checked before we did that. We will Speed Lightning. I can get rid of this. And I don't think we're going to need Zekrom right now. Grab the other VMAX. We will, I mean, we can Dynamotor maybe to the other Zeraora. I think that's what we might do, I guess. We'll wait for now. We'll evolve this guy. And then we'll scoop him up. I mean, I guess there's no reason not to do the other Zeraora in this scenario, right? Because we can just Dynamotor. We'll get it prepped in case we are able to use the V-Star after. Just in case, right? This ping isn't needed because we're doing 60 times, so 60, 120, 180, 240, 300, 330, reactive pulse, big KO on Kyurem VMAX. Like, you need to think about this. For 2 energy, we are able to fully return KO a Kyurem VMAX. That's insane. And look at their board. They don't have a Pokemon to return knockout unless they play a crazy like Thorton combo here. But they could have Radiant Greninja if they had a Palkia V-Star in play, right? And taking out 2 Flaaffy, but they have 3 prizes remaining. So we can just go and return KO whatever they bring. They're gonna Quick Ball, might try and get another Kyurem in play, but they can try all they want. I don't think that it's going to do anything. Oh, Suicune V. Interesting play. Very interesting play. I don't know. This is an interesting Kyurem VMAX list. I kind of like it, though. The double Oranguru, I mean, in our matchup is really good, but it seems like it could be very beneficial. Now, my opponent is going to boss up this Flaaffy and probably try and get us stuck. And that's fine with me, because I can just Air Balloon it. That's why I don't like to, you know, play all the cards down in fear of a Marnie, because Marnie isn't super prevalent anymore. It's more, I fear getting boss stuck, because sometimes people will try and do that now, as decks are like, they're getting less consistent, but more experimental and like higher risk, high reward kind of thing, which I find is what Kyurem really is right now. They're just powering up that Kyurem, and that's about it for my opponent. We just have the Air Balloon, retreat into Zeraora VMAX, and we can blow this Suicune up with reactive pulse if my game wants to load. We'll see if my game loads. I don't know if it's gonna load or not. Oh man, did my opponent really just like exit the game? Did my game freeze? No, the game's still going. The game is still going. Okay, well, I'm gonna just exit out of the game here. But we all know that I won, right? As much as this froze. We all know that I won. Okay, yeah, we know. My opponent calling the coin flip once again. We're gonna see what we can do here. We win the coin flip. I didn't even have to say Tails never fails. Absolutely gonna go first with this deck. We have a pretty decent start actually. We're gonna start with the Radiant Greninja in the active because we can scoop that up if we need to. And we're gonna see what my opponent is playing here based off their mulligan. Looks like they're playing some sort of Darkbox deck. Gonna be very, very interesting for us, I will say. Because Dark type decks have a lot of abilities, and you know what loves abilities? Zeraora VMAX. So we're gonna start out here. Get a good board established. Just gonna grab a Mareep, put that into play. I don't think my opponent's gonna be taking a knockout on their first turn, so I'm really gonna go all in. We'll attach this. Boom. Next turn, in our hand, we have a Zeraora VMAX. They want to play their ability Pokemon. Go ahead, put all the Galarian Moltres you would like down. Play all the Crobats you want, you know? As long as we were able to switch this Greninja, which we're pretty able to. I mean, we just need to find like a Flaaffy, or we need to find a Switch, or a Balloon, or a Scoop Up, or... Because then we can boss something and we don't have to use our research. Which, hey, would make me a very, very happy camper, I will say. I really would enjoy that. So... just waiting here for my opponent to doing a little deck check, it seems, based off the Stormy Mountains. And now we're going to see what they decide to play here. The interesting thing is, because Zeraora just came out, and it's a promo card, a lot of people don't know exactly what it does. So it's very interesting to see how people reactive pulse, get it? How people will react to our game plan here. My opponent Ultra Balling a Darkness Energy and a Rock Sand away, and they're gonna bring that Galarian Moltres onto the field. Okay, so that's 2 ability Pokemon. We're doing 120 damage right now. That's respectable. We can take out this Galarian Moltres with ease. They're probably gonna look to find a Darkrai and put that on the bench. Maybe they're gonna play another Galarian Moltres or a Radiant Greninja or a Crobat down. They might be looking for that Crobat so they can draw more cards, and that's gonna bump us up pretty high. They're gonna Dire Flame Wings, and usually that's what you do last through your turn. So that could be all my opponent is going for here. They're gonna do another attachment from the hand this time. Maybe they do have that Crobat in play. Maybe they're gonna be able to Crobat down for 4 cards. I mean, Crobating for 4, not a bad option. Oh, they're gonna collapse Stadium. Interesting. Okay, that looks like it's gonna be it for my opponent. We're gonna conceal cards here. And we have a Speed Lightning Energy, so we can draw some more cards. We got a Flaaffy. We have a crazy good hand right now. Crazy, crazy good hand. Oh, we can take this Moltres out. We're taking that Moltres out for sure. For sure, we're taking that Moltres out. We're gonna Dynamotor right here. Scoop up this Greninja. Hello, Zeraora. Goodbye, Moltres. Not yet, though. Not yet. We're gonna conceal cards again, because we can. And then we have a Choice Belt too. Excellent. We'll Choice Belt that boy up. Quick Ball away the Manaphy. We'll grab another Mareep down. And then Boss's order is hello Moltres. Max Fist. Goodbye Moltres. 270 damage. Turn 2. You know, not that bad, eh? For promo cards or puts in the work. And now look at my opponent's board. They don't really got much going on. And now the really, really good part about this is we have the Thorton in hand. If our Zeraora somehow gets knocked out, like through a miracle, we can just Thorn it back into play and then evolve it. And then what are they gonna do? You know, what are they gonna do? And yep, they're gonna concede. That's it. See, Zeraora, very, very strong, very underrated as a card, I think, right now. I think this card can do really, really well in the format. I'm very excited to see where it goes. So what do you think of my Zeraora V-Star and VMAX deck? I think this deck is super, super good. We didn't get to use the V-Star power, unfortunately, in this video, but I can tell you from experience in testing, if you can get it up and running in the right scenario, which it's fairly easy and simple to do, you're able to absolutely destroy your opponent's board. But in a lot of the matchups, you won't really need to. It's more, are you able to, and do you want to cause a little bit of disruption, right? Lightning Storm Star, very, very good power. The only criticism I have for it is it doesn't affect weakness. So you can't Lightning Storm Star Palkia 3 times and then hit into something else in order to KO it. Like, you need to target something down more, so you can't bring something into the active, knock it out by affecting weakness, and then hitting stuff on the bench. So that's why, I mean, the V-Star power is good, but it's not like exactly perfect in every scenario. But combine that with Regieleki and you're going to be doing a lot. And this deck kind of has two game plans here. You start with the Zeraora VMAX, right? You then go into Zeraora V-Star and start setting up some more knockouts. And then you can go into Regieleki, or you can go back into the Zeraora VMAX. Or if you're lucky and get your Rod and a Thorton or whatever, you can go back into Zeraora V-Star and start crushing beat to clean up what you started with Lightning Storm Star. This deck has a lot of options, and it's a lot of fun, and I honestly didn't think that the Flaaffy engine would be the right way to play this card, but after playing it and testing it and having a great time with it, I can very confidently say Flaaffy is the way to go with this. I really like my build. There's not really much I would change. I honestly think that this is like potentially the optimal way to play the card. Obviously, if you find this other Zeraora V, you would much rather have that instead of this one, literally just because of the retreat cost. They have the same amount of HP and everything. So I would absolutely go for the other one. I think that is a play for sure. Other than that, though, I'm really loving my list. You could even switch up your single prize attackers. There was one card that I was maybe going to add. There's this Ampharos from Darkness Ablaze for 2 lightning, does 130 flat. And I was going to add that in just to deal with Miltank, but these kind of just deal with Miltank better, and they also help your game plan. Like, you can paralyze instead of for a big knockout with either the VMAX or the V-Star. You can snipe with the Regieleki to hit the VMAX, not hit the VMAX or V-Star, to set up KOs for Zeraora's V-Star power. So, very, very strong, strong deck. I'm actually going to be building this, like, with physical cards, and I'm very, very excited to do so. I think this is gonna be so much fun. Like, this deck is absolutely insane. So with all that said and done, thank you so much for watching the video. Like if you enjoyed it, comment down below, what do you like about my Flaaffy Zeraora V and VMAX and V-Star deck? I would love to hear your thoughts. What do you like? Would you not like? What would you keep? And what would you change? And subscribe to the channel. I have 2 new Pokemon trading card game videos every single week on the Hitmonchanting channel. Tick that notification bell so you don't miss out. And with all that said and done, Hitmonchanting out.